Star Wars Return of the Jedi is here. From it, Kenner brings you 65 incredible Star Wars action figures, each sold separately. And now...
Never. I'll never turn to the dark side.
Hello, my name is Fu Manchu, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Always have been, always will be. Even despite what Disney does to the movies going forward. But anyways, I grew up and I saw all the original releases in the movie theaters multiple times. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much of an achievement, especially since when I grew up, everyone I knew had done the exact same thing. But it seems these days whenever somebody, I'm talking to somebody and they go, oh, I'm a Star Wars fan. And I say, oh, really? Did you see the original movies in the theaters? And they say, no. First Star Wars movie I ever saw in the theaters was The Phantom Menace. And I go, what? Jeez. And you know what? They usually look older than I do. And I just look at them and I'm just amazed. That just blows my mind. But anyways, back to the original releases. Back in those days, Kenner, of course, made all the figures. And I got as many of them as I could growing up. And, by the time the Return of the Jedi came out, they'd actually released a couple of different versions of Luke. But what's funny is they never released his most iconic look in the whole movie. Now, in 1983, Kenner released the Star Wars Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker figure in Jedi Knight Outfit. And as you can see in the photo there on the card, this is Luke in Jabba's palace. Now, this figure came with his cloak, came with his lightsaber, either in blue or in green, depending on the one you found at the store, and that guard's blaster that he actually used the Force to grab and then threaten Jabba with. Now, this figure was by far the definitive Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker figure at that time, and check that out. Now, this is the exact same one that I bought as a kid or whatever like that, and this is the card that I actually got it on too, $2.68, and I don't remember which store I got this from, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, my figure has always had a flaw. If you look at his face, he's got like a glob of paint on the right side of his cheek there, and that's always bugged me. But, that's the one I had, and back then you didn't buy multiples of figures. I mean, you might have had, like, Bespin Luke or Tatooine Luke or something like that. But you wouldn't have, like, two of these. Well, over the years I found out that they actually made one where that problem wouldn't be a problem. You see, this one's face is painted with peach-colored paint, over that same molded color that his hair is. That entire head is that weird kind of yellowish, brownish color. And they just painted his skin color and his eyes and stuff like that. And apparently they messed up on mine. But, you can actually get one that's molded in skin color and then has the hair painted a little something like this. And believe me when I say this is the far superior Luke figure. This looks awesome. I mean, it's the same exact figure. It's just they didn't paint his skin color and stuff like that. And I think this is amazing. But as you can see, this figure is actually sculpted wearing the outfit that he wore. I mean, he's wearing his Jedi outfit, of course, but he has this weird sort of like cloak thing over it and a different kind of cloth belt over his normal belt and stuff like that. So yeah, you can use this as a final battle, against the Emperor and Darth Vader Luke, but he doesn't look quite right. But, since he's all in black, if you look at it from far away, you're not going to really notice a difference. But yeah, when it comes to that head, this is by far the most superior Luke figure you can get. Now, in 1983, Kenner also released the Poncho Luke. Now, this figure is awesome, especially when you look underneath his poncho. He actually has his Jedi outfit underneath that. And that right there is the look that I wanted on a Luke Skywalker figure of that era. And, I mean, this is the figure. The only problem is that helmet is permanently attached to his head. It's part of the sculpt, and it cannot be removed. Man, that is annoying. Now, like I said, this figure is supposed to be wearing a poncho so that you can, reenact all the scenes on Endor and stuff like that. But where it comes to having just a normal Jedi Luke, yeah, they never made it. Which leads us to today's video. Now, I have been on a real vintage Kenner Star Wars kick lately. I dug out all my old figures, cleaned them up, I've been going through them, I've been watching a ton of videos and stuff about, all the variants and all the differences and learning little facts here and there. One of the guys that I've been watching recently is That Junk Man. Now, I'm sure you already know who he is, but if you don't, he makes a lot of vintage Star Wars, like Kenner reviews and things like that, but he also makes a lot of reviews on other things as well. He's very funny, very entertaining, and will teach you things along the way, so go subscribe to him if you haven't. Because look at that! He's only got 10 and the letter K, so that's not many subscribers. So go subscribe to that guy, man. He needs the subscriptions. Now, he's just one of many people that I've been watching the vintage Star Wars reviews and things like that recently. And honestly, I've learned a lot of stuff along the way. Now, one of the things that I wondered about, but nobody had talked about, I thought, I wonder if that would work. But nobody's talking about it, so I guess either they tried it and it didn't work or something. But you know what? I thought, I'm going to try that. Now, I know I'm not reinventing the wheel. What I'm about to do has probably been done by a million other people, but I haven't seen any documentation either in writing form or in video form, so I'm going to show you all something. So are you ready? Let's go check out the video, shall we? Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is the 1983 Kenner Jedi Outfit Luke Skywalker figure. You got my original one that I bought off the pegs in 1983 right there on the left, and you have the flesh-headed molded one on the right, which took me a while to get, but man, it was worth the wait because that is, like I said, the far superior Luke head. Now, this is what they call the Jedi Outfit body, but if you ask me, that's more of his Jabba's Palace outfit. Now, this one over here came with what I thought is by far his Jedi outfit, but it comes with that non-removable helmet. Now, I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this, because I thought, I wonder if you could take the best of both worlds. Take this one's head and put it on this one's body. Now, I did learn while watching videos that although the original Star Wars figures all had mushroom pegs that kind of like were attached to their heads that went inside of the body, that if you pulled it out, you know, you still had to like shove it back in the hole and stuff like that. But when Return of the Jedi came out, they started using tiny little ball joints that the heads would pop onto that were built onto the bodies. And I thought, So I tested it with this one and I went, yep, his head comes off pretty easy. I wonder if this one is made the same way. And sure enough, after heating up their heads with a hairdryer and popping them off, you can see that the neck pegs are almost identical. Now, while watching videos, I learned that these heads came off pretty easily, and I wondered why no one had ever documented this or did this or anything like that, because I thought, God, that's such an easy fix. But nobody had ever talked about it. Nobody even showed swapping the heads on the Lukes. I mean, they'd always swapped off, like, maybe the painted head for the fleshy head or vice versa or something like that. But I've never seen a, normal-headed Luke go onto this poncho Luke body, because this is by far the Jedi outfit body that we wanted a figure of that Kenner never made. So I wondered, maybe it just won't work, because maybe that's why nobody's talked about it. But you know what? Let's find out, shall we? Now, I believe Negan said it best when he said,
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Because not only can it be done, but it can be done so easily. Check this out. Now, I'm obviously not going to display this one because a helmeted Jabba's Palace Luke just looks weird. But this one over here is by far awesome. Check that out. I think we need to look at this one up close. Because I don't know about you, but this is the Luke Skywalker figure I wanted in 1983 by Kenner. This looks so amazing. I mean, I think the only thing that this figure is missing, in my opinion, besides his weapons, obviously, is the fact that, oh man, if only his belt buckle was painted right there. A little bit of silver and it would be perfect. But you know what? I could care less. Oh, too, you could paint that little triangle there underneath his, on his collar where it's his neck showing through. But they didn't paint that on the original, even though he's wearing the indoor outfit. But you know what? This looks amazing. Not only does it have the flesh-colored, or flesh-molded head on it now, that head fit perfectly. Both heads go on super tight, and you know what? It's not loose, nothing. It is amazing. And like I said, it's such an easy fix that I always wondered why nobody had talked about this. Now, like I said, I'm sure I'm not the first one to do this. Duh. You're never the first one to do anything, even Christopher Columbus went, hey, there are people here. But you know what? Seriously, it was easy. And if you haven't done it, this would make a great Jedi Luke to have in any Kenner display. And like I said, that head pops on super tight. It turns everything. It works perfectly. Nothing's changed on the figure because all you're doing is swapping out the head. And honestly, like I said, this one would look good standing in front of the Emperor or Darth Vader, and that is awesome. Now, if you look at the back of the card where it says collect all 65 Return of the Jedi and Star Wars figures and stuff like that, you'll notice that this Poncho Luke is not listed because it was one of the last 17 figures to come out from the Power of the Force line. And maybe that's why nobody's tried this before, because it's such a rarer figure. Maybe nobody wants to break it. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Maybe just most people don't have it, because it was a figure that I didn't have for a long time. So maybe that's the reason. But it is very easy to do. And honestly, if you regret doing it, you just pop the head back on. It's not like you're breaking your figure or anything. It's just on a little peg. And it's easy to do. And you know what? You end up with a really awesome Jedi outfit Luke. And what's really cool is to see both of the versions of Luke finally displayed. I mean, this is the Jedi outfit Luke we should have gotten. They should have made that Poncho Luke with a removable helmet or something. I mean, they did that with the Princess Leia, but they didn't. So, you know what? At least since there's a bunch of variants on the Luke head, you can have two different versions like this, and it doesn't even look like it's the same head. That is awesome. Oh, and by the way, I did get it wrong, because this one's a last 17, you know, Power of the Force line Luke Skywalker. This figure was actually released in 1985. So, yeah, it's not 1983, so this body is from 1985. But you know what? They go together perfectly, and I think it is awesome. So, there's my video on how you can make a vintage Kenner Return of the Jedi outfit Luke Skywalker figure. Very easily, too, I might add. You know what? If you haven't done this by now and you have a Kenner collection, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, because you know what? That is one awesome looking figure. So, until next time, tune in for more Food Reviews! I can't believe I actually had the skill to make a Jedi outfit Kenner figure.
Your feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side.
Hey, this is Nolan North. You don't want to miss Food Reviews. And I'm out.